Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. Progressing our logic, you know how we do it, no real introduction. I thought it'd be useful to start with some comments, just to show you, again, both projection and science. So I gotta, if you've, obviously this series has been followed very rigorously, but on my chicken or the egg, so my last short, what I'm doing in there is showing you dichotomy. There's this fundamental stability of two, and you can't, it's fundamentally stable. You can't break down anything past a certain point and it still be the same thing. You can't break down a word and it still be the same word after you remove so many letters, so on and so forth. So the point is there's this fundamental dichotomy. Now in biology, evolutionarily for us, probably the egg came first, then the chicken. But my point is, from a biological standpoint, adaptations is completely based on nurture, your environment. That's what I was getting at. There's a stability of two. You can ask a question that might not have a definitive answer, and then to get to nurture. But that was just it's just a question that's in public sentiment. Did the chicken or the egg come first? Obviously, there's chronology. Guess who proved chronology? All right, that was me, like 14 episodes ago. So I just pose a question like you're supposed to draw somebody in, to tag it to your longer formed episode so people can look at it. Do they? No. Do they have the attention span? No. But I got from Kieran Matthew, he says, process, he doesn't even say the process of finding the derivative is differentiation and not derivation. Categorically false, right? Language is consistent, proven. It iterates, proven. And then you can literally see the word derivative, like again, because I told you, there's physical limits presented by your cell phone. The amount of text that can be in a given pixel line is physically limited. So you can see the iteration based on the texts. And you can see derivative and derivation is directly iterative. And then differentiation produces difference. Derivative, you need a base. And the same way we talked about a stock option is derivative because you have a stock. It's the right to buy a security at a given price. You can't have a derivative of something that doesn't exist. The derivative of zero is zero. and so again, he projects insecurity, and again, not insecurity like this is a math video, like I'm sad or I'm happy or politics or religion. It's just this is directly this, and it's not, right? So it's like you're at a point where you say the sky is blue, and then people have a mental breakdown, and you're like, what the fuck? Now, granted, this is YouTube comments, but the point is somebody out there heard logic, they had ontological shock, right? Logical, ontological shock. They learned something they can't accept, and then they just blurt out, I don't like that. And they don't understand how to control their emotions. This is a math video. Now what happens when it's politics? What happens when it's religion? What happens when it's somebody's family? That's where all of your violence comes from. And so it is amazing to see projection at face value still. And so surprisingly, I got a decent amount of comments on this one, as everyone's saying it's the egg. It's not the point. But nobody watched the video. And so there's a fundamental dichotomy. You can ask general questions that don't have definitive answers. The chicken or the egg is like just a sentimental question that's everyone's heard before. And the point being is, specifically to biology, adaptions, you're just reacting to your environment, right? Most females give birth, but male seahorses carry the babies. And so that specific example is getting to nature versus nurture, but they didn't watch the video. And then you can see the direct iteration of the letters. It's insanity. But no, differentiation, right? You're just creating a difference. Derivation, you're deriving from a base. Very clear, he is wrong, I am right, obviously. And that's on part 148 of a well thought out lecture series. That I do little edits and put the words on the screen so you can see, and then they hear something that doesn't click with them, and then they have to say no. And it's overwhelmingly obvious. But again, it's just astounding, right? This is like, I don't need a red carpet rolled out, but it would be nice to not be able to do my work without some vitriolic 16-year-old just spewing out hatred. And it's because I can't respond. And then they create this tension, and then you can't resolve that tension, and then you just flop like a fish out of water, which I've been doing literally my entire life. But what is life? Life stinks, right? It's a stinker. Someone leaves a negative comment on my YouTube. But I'm just more astounded that it's, again, denial at face value. And these are your students, these are your kids out there you're raising. Really good job, guys. Good job, parents. That sensuality stinks, right? Life stinks. And I don't mean like sad, bad, leave a negative comment. I mean like it literally smells, right? Is that thing alive? Does it smell like shit, right? Life shits. But it's true. Again, we're just expanding our logic, solidifying, establishing sensuality as an axiom. And I can tell you can physically feel that we're in that pocket and we're just getting to that final solidifying theorem. Stinking is rank. That smells really bad, PU, it's rank. Rank, stank. Sorality, stanks. Right? I take off the sensorality, sorality, because again, we're defining sorality, but I jump back and forth, but it should be clear what I'm doing. But sorality stinks, because remember, we have to encapsulate all of slang. Slang, stank, right? Stank is slang for stink. Sensorality, ranks. Rank is position, por supuesto, right? In Spanish, it means by his position. Are you going to do that thing? Of course. Of course, Your Honor. Of course, Your Majesty. By your position of obviously I'm going to do what you tell me to do. That is that's where that comes from. Right? Right? You derive a base from the range, right? Nouns are our range, verbs are our base. Remember all the things that we just proved a week ago? They're still functionally true, and you have to learn to do them. I'm analytically competent at these things. It's not like I just identify this. It's not like, hey, look, there's a horse. It's like I know how to ride the horse. But por supuesto is rank is position. I mean, that's what that terminology reflects. Sensorality is satiable. Sorality satiates. Sorationality is sensationality. Rationality, sationality. Sationality satisfies. Satisfactionality, factionality. What is a faction? Again, these chunks of derivation where I give you no explanation, it is just expansion and contraction. And you relate base word to base word, and then you expand and contract its syllability. A faction is a sect. Like if you have a guerrilla warfare, someone breaks off from a given army. A section is a faction. Sensorality is sectionality. Speciality is selectionality. What's the relationship of sectionality and selectionality? Section, selection. Speciality selects. Sensorality is the section that it selects from. Because remember, speciality is the base of sensorality. Speciality is the base of sorality. So we're just connecting that. Because again, you've not seen, where I did this entire process for speciality is literally over email on someone's desk at Harvard or Caltech or Oxford in England. I mean, it's amongst I make these videos for people in the future or for the random fuck that stumbles upon this. That's why I provide these explanations. The people in academia already know all of this stuff. But again, I'm just putting my time and effort so this stupid fucking species that I ate has a demonstration of what it looks like to go through all of the steps of a complete proof. Not because I like any of you sick, stupid idiots. My goodness. But section and selection is very clear that, right, you put that in. So again, here's one. Section or selection. Are you adding the EL or the LE? Right, so lection, action, section, right? Is it the EL that's added into section or the LE that's added into section? Don't know. But again, I would just keep iterating until something pops out. Is it relevant to right now? No, moving on. Sensorality selects, selection sorates. Sorating is vibrating. Because remember again, always our physical base is vibration. Rhythm is the base of 3. Vibration is the base overall. Rhythm is the base of momentum. Again, making momentum transfer most efficient. And then algorithm is our range. Again, from rhythm to algorithm. That is a chunk of logic that we are just going to physically, literally expand with sensorality. But always relating it back to vibration, because that's what it's based on, everything. Sensorality is generic, speciality is custom. If you customize something, you speciate it, you differentiate it. If something is generic, it has no differentiation, it's sensorial. I'm trying to get to what is soral, what is sorality, what is sensorality. Branding customizes, specializing customizes, customizing differentiates. Sensorality is the capability of sensibility. And so now, again, when I'm showing you these dichotomistic pairs, those are the two operative words to go, like if you look at any sentence and the two words that connect logic, and again, is our basis of 2, does it iterate logically? I'm sure it does, but how? And all of these, how does it actually manifest numerically? That's a Fields Medal for Harvard. But I walk you up to the line and say, what do you do here? Because it's not relevant to what I'm doing all of the time. But what we're doing now, again, we have that sensorality ends with A-L-I-T-Y, capability and sensibility. Again, capability and sensibility are the two words that are already axiomatized, already well-defined based off their use with other words. They end in I-L-I-T-Y. And so again, what's the right form? Is it that absorb, absorption? Ality, illity, 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 ality, illity. What is the right thing to do what? But what we're doing overall, logically, is we're using more words, right? We're effectively creating word salad, quote unquote, getting the right syllables in the right order to reduce to our final statement, our final theorem of sensorality. But see how like logically that strikes you kind of as redundant. So sensorality is the capability of sensibility. Like what logical value did capability add to that? Sensorality is sensibility. Sensorality is the capability of sensibility. Right? It doesn't really do anything logically, but you add a new word linguistically. So now we're getting 3 words to 2 bases to expand into 1 new word, and then 3, 2, and all of these numeric relations, they're all floating around somewhere, and I just do them intuitively. But now we have, again, like I said, 3 words to define, to axiomatize. So now we've expanded enough, and we're just putting the words in the right order. Writing is a lagging indicator. Writing is context. Spelling a word defines variable, the context defines it. The words you use in relation to other words is the context. And writing is just like your stock charts. It happens after the fact, right? Chronology exists. Something happens, even if it's a split fraction of a second, and then there's a consequence to that action. Actions have consequences. Shocker. But by the time I write this down, by the time I speak this to you, I've already internalized it. And that's why I just have notes, and then why anybody's more drawn to improvisation or live music, not live music, but live thinking, derivation. Basically, when I say derivation, I really mean thinking, but I think to proof immediately, I guess. But if I can write it down, I already know it. And if I'm making a video of it, I knew it yesterday. And again, like I said, the 3 to 5 PhDs is not to say, look at me. It's to say that amount of time processing has occurred also. It just doesn't, all of my days squished together. I don't even know what age I am. Well, I do, but you kind of get out of thinking about time altogether. But sensorality writes, sensorality is right. Sensorality is now being the operative word to differentiate the same sound, right? Right, the direction right, being morally correct right, versus writing, the act of putting pen to paper to represent sound. So sensorality writes, sensorality is right. Right is good, right? And he looked around in the Bible, he looked around, and it was good. Right is good. Life is good. Sensorality is good. Intonation is inflection. Inversion is flipping. Again, intonation and inversion, why did I connect these? Or inflection and inversion is the 2 words I wanted to separate logically, right? Because with our chirality, we have this flipping in the same way we have a stability of 2. We have this asymmetry. So how does that reflect into language? And it's literally the letters. That's what I keep saying, geometric linguistics. Basically, is chirality. How does that chirality affect representing sound with letters? So that, to me, that, like I said, that's the coolest subject there is. What is a flip, right? Can you do a back flip? Can you do a front flip? Is there any logic we can draw from that, right? If you go to gymnastics, do you typically learn a back flip or a front flip first? Typically a back flip. I mean, both, you learn both, but more people can do back flips than can do front flips. And that's a consequence of geometry. Why? What? How? Or not how, but why or what? So that's interesting. I keep saying, and then all of these things I say in my personal life, because there's no difference between me here, sitting into a camera, me talking to my parents, me talking to anybody on the random street. I don't have this filter, this sensorality, and not like I don't know what's going on. I just don't, there's not a work me and a personal me, there's just me. And whether you behave like it or not, there's just a you too. And then you don't, censorship is going away, privacy is going away. Privacy doesn't even exist. And so if you think you're hiding something, even if it's in your thoughts, you're not, right? And Jesus said, even if you think it, it's already been heard. And so do all the technologies and aliens you guys interact with, and probably some of the technologies humans have. I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll get back to that later, more in the language litigation stuff. Because all that stuff's still real, I just don't touch on it because I can't say derivation is derivation produces derivatives without someone having a mental breakdown. Ontological shock. Realization clicks. Clicking understands. And now we've taken that sound and we've put words to it. What clicks? Realization. And that's, again, all context, whether it's you understanding something or a ball rolling down the hill. You can logically say the ball realized its motion. It's not logically wrong. So again, reality, realization, it's just a prefix and a suffix just kind of stuck together, and because words are completely general. Things have to be malleable, they have to be adaptive to change, because the world's changing. I'm going to live and die, you're going to live and die. What's language going to look like in 100,000 years? What are our bodies going to look like in 100,000 years? It has to be capable to accommodate all of that. And scales, on even big scales locally, the progression of Earth or humanity as a whole is outside of our own intuition, let alone bigger scales of the universe. Nouns degenerate into verbs, right? Verbs are our base, they expand into nouns, nouns degenerate into verbs. Proof, right? Proliferation, noun. Proliferate, verb, right? And for a complete sentence, you need a noun and a verb, and typically context defines the noun. And so, but then you have Phoenician where they don't have vowels at all, and some, stuff like that. But proliferation proliferates. Noun is our range, verbs are our base. A noun is a thing, right? What is a noun? A person, place, or thing. Now we're just limiting that to thing, right? And we're connecting it to our fundamental syllable, ing, thing. And it is, right? It's literally, that's how it's defined today. So again, all I'm doing is, in the same sense, making our system more efficient by limiting it and expanding it with, once we get to that base efficiency, then we expand it out more. But a noun is a thing. Thinging is the most general sentence you can have. Right? Thing being the noun, thinging being the verb. Clearly it's the same word with, ing on top of thing. Right? But there's our direct, one, two. One ing, thing, thinging. One, two, many. And then we're in dimension 3 where all of these words. So that is and that's unique. There's not another way to say thing, thinging. Itting, right? But no, very same vibrations are based. The ing is literally a sound of vibration. And so thing, thinging is the most basic progression of syllability. Thing, thinging. 1, 1, 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So now we've proven 3. Nice. And now we can finish up today by differentiating sensorality once again by a single letter. Thing, thinging, sensorality is thing, thinging. Sensorality is thing, thinking. Life is a thing that thinks. I think, therefore I am. False. You are, therefore you can think. Sorry, I forget what philosopher. Again, philosophy is a joke. If you haven't, I've already said that, but clearly it's a joke. So that's where we're going to finish up today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. As always, my constitutional rights are violated. It is profoundly disgusting. All I'm asking for is the ability to do my research unimpinged. I don't care if it's public, private, I don't care. I'm just asking to be treated like a human being. But that ship sailed, so I'm just begging. I feel no shame. I am on my hands and knees begging. My rights are violated. No one cares. No one understands because people can't shut the fuck up and listen. You see it on my comments on my YouTube. A direct logical proof where all you have to do is literally just not blurt out, project no. And then you have to understand that has been occurring to me every minute of every day since I have been forming memories as a 6-year-old. I'm 32. I have never formed a sense of identity because people have ontological shock because of my presence. And then they scapegoat me. It has never fucking stopped. See you on the next one.